Hi everyone, today we're joined by Gabrielle Jones, practicing artist in Sydney and also the founder of Art Class Sydney, who've hosted a number of cultural tours in the past. Hi Gabrielle, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Martin. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks.
Good.
Gabrielle, you've got two overseas cultural tours coming up in 2017 and you're asking people if they're interested. One of the tours goes to Burgundy in France, and the other tour goes to Rajasthan in India. Two very diverse or divergent places, I guess, which will be a
Yes.
great year. Can you just tell us what to expect on the tour and why you've chosen these two locations?
Okay. India is the first one up in February. It's quite a different tour to Burgundy. India will be about plugging into that exciting place, the culture, the colour. It's going to be, I guess, a wake-up call, and I'm looking forward to that. It's quite a challenging place, but very interesting, and is the top of many people's places to travel. Burgundy will be a little more of a quieter retreat, centred around the immediate location in Burgundy and in around a 400-year-old estate. And both of them, though, are about the food, the architecture. They both have a very long history and ancient cultures. And spirituality informs their architecture, their art, etc. So it's looking at quite diverse influences there. And I hope that everybody can plug into that because looking at things differently, experiencing different cultures, people, colours, etc., can really inform your work.
Right, so Rajasthan's quite a large state
That's
up in the north of India. Whereabouts are you planning travelling to?
Well, we're just focusing on three places. Well, the main places, I guess, Udaipur, Jaipur, and Jodhpur. There is an option to then add on Agra and Taj Mahal, so it's a couple of days for that. But essentially, we're trying to spend about 3 days in each of those places. There's one other that's essentially a travel through, but has interesting. It's a one-night stay. So we've tried to keep that. That's been a big effort on our part, keeping the travel down and making it interesting. We have a train trip that runs for half a day to experience that, and it's in amazing country, very high up, and just seeing how the locals travel
Yeah, okay.
and work. Yeah, so it'll be great.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Rajasthan's brilliant. Now, who might be suitable for both these tours?
Well, to be honest, we'd probably prefer somebody has picked up a brush before, mix some paint occasionally. But essentially, it is from very basic to advanced. I'm a very experienced teacher. I am used to teaching on a weekly basis, everyone from beginners to advanced students, and I usually set projects or exercises in each of the locations that are aimed at people of different levels. So, in other words, the project can be done at different levels, and I find that's fabulous because the experienced people look at the beginners who've got nothing to lose, so hey, they just go at it in a new and novel and interesting way. And a lot of the experienced people think, well, why didn't I think of that? And also there are the inexperienced, sorry about the phone, working office. There are the inexperienced people look at how people with more experience and gain a lot from how they go about things and watching them, as well as from my instruction.
Right, and materials? You're supplying all the materials and freighting them across?
No, I have supplied the materials in the past, and often it's a difficult thing getting the appropriate materials locally, even in Europe. So what I've decided with these two is we supply the basic materials, things that are easily able to get, but maybe bulky things that we can get in the local area. And I do ask students to bring their own materials. I will have a list of what exactly to bring and what not to bring. Best to travel light in most of these cases. So you've got room to take all that wonderful work home in your suitcase.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Now, how many people are you anticipating coming on both the tours? I assume it'd be different for each one.
The India tour is restricted. We've actually been able to gain some fabulous deals locally, and therefore had to put up money up front, and so we've restricted that to 10 participants. And Burgundy is less limited; it'd be maximum of 15, probably about 12. We have 12 within the one villa in the estate, and if there happens to be more people or they prefer different accommodation, there's more accommodation up the road close by.
And let's talk a little bit about the history of Art Class Sydney. Do you want to sort of fill us in about what you've been doing and maybe some of the past tours that have gone down well?
Okay, Art Class Sydney started through students. I was teaching elsewhere, and a number of students started asking me if I had private classes. So I actually just took on 4 students in my own home. That's now grown to 3-day classes, 1 night class. There's over 30 students enrolled this term. I now have somebody else teaching for me who also teaches at the National Art School. So our main aim is to provide the gap for people who are pretty serious about their art, or certainly about learning and expanding. That has been left by the evacuation of TAFEs and lack of funding for universities. That's how it started. It's in Balmain, and we added the international retreats because I had a number of students saying, wouldn't it be good if? And honestly, a number of locations have just come to me, and that's a wonderful thing.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the key dates, or the important dates for the 2 tours coming up.
So India is a 11-night, 12-day tour, and it's from the 4th to the 15th of February in 2017. And Burgundy is a 7-night tour, and it's from the 24th of June to the 1st of July in 2017.
Gabrielle, the flights will be economy class, I'm assuming, and the accommodation will be twin share?
The flights are not included from Australia. Sorry, we don't cover that because that's a whole other insurance thing. The retreats are offered ground costs and movement transport in the location. So in India, there is another flight included. It is economy class. It's a very short flight of about an hour and 20 minutes. The accommodation can be single, and there are single supplements on the website. Mostly it is share accommodation, and mostly it is ensuite accommodation. In India, the accommodation is 4-star and heritage levels, so it's pretty high, and each room is offered with an ensuite. In the estate, it is a 400-year-old villa, so there is a little more sharing. However, it's still a good accommodation, good, comfortable accommodation.
Perfect. And look, one question that I've been dying to ask, food, because both those areas, well, both the tours are going to areas where the food is just amazing.
One of the differences, I believe, with Art Class Sydney to other tours is we have people on the ground. So I don't do a tour now unless I have somebody whose English speaking is excellent, communication is excellent, and who lives and works in the area. So in both cases, we get local knowledge. So we've actually added a meal plan for India, which is very, very reasonable, and they will be telling us the restaurants to go to, the best restaurants, and taking us there. So, and that means that there's very little health risk, I guess. You have to look at the food, and it's all very well prepared and all of that sort of thing. And in Burgundy, they actually use all the local produce, and the people who run the villa are chefs, cooks, and as well as that, we've certainly got some restaurants chosen to go to.
Gabrielle, thanks very much for your time, and for everyone listening, go and jump on Gabrielle's website, which I'll include as a link, or have a look at Art Workshop Hub. Either place will give you the information you need to get started. Gabrielle, thanks very much, and all the best.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.